What a wonderful and a beautiful opportunity to be here. While we're talking land, there are very few people that are here, especially those that have land in their hands. They are not even here. So we are free to plan this thing the way we're going to plan it. They're going to be surprised by the time we implement it. I mean, 70% of the land is still in white hands, and the whites are not here. So this is our party. Put your hand on your head and say after me, this is how I think. Say after me, this is how I think. Put your hand on your heart and say, this is how I feel. Put your hand in your hand and say, this is how I do. Do we have the passion to deliver this? Beautiful strategies that are not implemented, they will rot on the shelf. Horrible strategies that are implemented violently will succeed. So it's not in the beauty of your manifesto that you find success. It's in the violence of your passion that you will translate your information into your passion, into your action plan. Stop correcting full stops and commas. Look for your hands and implement what you have said you're going to implement. I'm a technocrat in terms of being an intellectual harasser and social maverick who upset systems. There I'm a professional. I will harass you and you will not sleep for 16 weeks in a row. And I would want you, as we are concluding, to live here uncomfortable. And I'm doing this deliberately so that you can have an action plan that let us go out there and let us do something about it. You guys went to war, and you did not go to war to fight for democracy. We didn't go to war so that we wanted to share toilets. No, we can build our own toilets. We went to war because we wanted to restore land. Number one. We wanted power away from those that were oppressing us and to have it to ourselves. This is a Pan-Africanist. This has been the weakness of all African governments. All of them. They went to war to fight for land. When they were there, they started organizing governments and they made themselves the kings while they were at war. And when they came back, they assumed the instruments of colonial power systems, and they started to become the drivers of the same system which had oppressed them. I'm not mixing my words. So we came back with presidents when we went to war with kings. And when they came back, they sat on the same chair that the colonialists were sitting. They became the ministers of health to manage the same health system, ministers of education to manage the same education system, ministers of water to manage the same water policies. Even as we speak today, we still have the red line zones in Namibia where goods cannot move freely. In a country, we call a country, but you cannot cross over the avocados and beef. You cannot cross this line. And you sit back and say, who drew this line? A bunch of some Boeros and German guys who said, no, if you allow goods from the north to come down here, then the businesses of the south will die. We are the monopoly holders of business in Videol. You can't allow cheap things from the north to come, and those red lines are still there. And we talk about manifestos, we talk about policy change, and yet the devil in the room still looks at us, and to tamper with it, we all want to tiptoe and put golden gloves when we begin to talk about these real issues that matter. We only have three things to discuss. Number one, it is water. Number two, it is land. Number three, it is air. That's what we are made out of, and that's what gives us legitimacy to stay on this earth. Every one of us has the right to clean air. Every one of us has a right to clean water. Every one of us has a right to land. So we don't have all these ministries, beautiful and cosmetic as they are. Ministry of what, ministry of what, ministry of what, ministry of what. Oh, they sound very nice, those things. You only have one ministry, and that is the ministry of land. Because in Ministry of Land, agriculture is there. In the Ministry of Land, water is there. In the Ministry of Land, roads is there. In the Ministry of Land, infrastructure and housing is there. In the Ministry of Land, mining is there. In the Ministry of Land, agriculture is there. If you don't have land, what are you ministering? I mean, we can tiptoe around this thing until the cows come home. The Namibian government, through the SWAPO Liberation Organization, need once and for all to look at land as the real ministry, and all other ministries can wait. Even energy is founded on land. We can you harvest oil? How can you harvest water to generate the power that we're talking about? So land is critical. When we have these ideas, we are going to be spending 500 million. Congratulations, Honorable Minister. $500 million going towards agriculture. Oh, put your hands together. Ah, wow. Now stop and start crying. 70% of that land is still sitting in white hands. So the 500 million is going to who? And again, before you get discouraged, as Africans, remember you learn from your neighbors. I'm coming to you from a radical space of Zimbabwe. Now you have an option, because South African policies of land are affected, number one, by Germany, number two, by South Africa, and your own Namibian policies. Shame to say, South African land, 72% of that land still lays and sits in white farmers. In Namibia, you're at 70%. So when you look at yourself in terms of land, just consider that you are exactly where South Africa is. Because of the golden gloves around land, ANC broke into pieces. UDM, the Quarters Party, what do you call it? Cope, after Cope, EFF, after EFF, MK, and you go to the manifestos of all these political parties that broke away from ANC, it was one single issue, that they are not willing to address the issue of land. Namibia, you're not far from that. I see lots of young people beginning to look for change. They're not looking for change. It's because you are being gentle the way you look at this monster. The quicker you address this issue, the better. Follow me carefully. We are going to do everything according to the rule of law. Congratulations. Whose law? The same Roman Dutch law that sent you to war is the same law you are trying to implement to fix it. Now let me teach you something like a criminal. Use the law, but use it to your advantage. I'm telling you a strategy like a serious criminal. You agree that we're going to buy all the land from you, but we're going to pay you only to the developments that we have done. But we're going to deduct the destructions that we have done. And we'll give you the change. We agree. So you found our land virgin. It was clean. It was productive. You have worked on it for 50, 60 years. You have put fertilizers. You have polluted the rivers. What? The quality of the land that you found vis-a-vis the quality of the land that we are now buying cannot be at the same price. So we agree to the 3 million purchase of your farm. We deduct siltation, salting of the land, destruction of nature, and etc. And we give you the change. And then we can decide how much can we pay you for what you destroyed. I mean, if they use the law, because for me it's clear, if you take away the law, the land without law, how can we use law to take it back? It was taken without law. In our own way in Zimbabwe, we will take it back without law. What am I talking about when it comes to the issues of land? Zimbabwe, we took a radical land reform program. Follow very carefully. We got tired, 25 years of being lied to by the British government. We are going to, when they were using our land as a retirement package for their soldiers from the British Army. When they lied for 25 years, hoping that in 25 years, Mugabe will be gone. They were disappointed. The man was still alive and he was there.